Thank you for joining Effortless Attraction. My name is Evelyn Magill. I'm the author of A Life You Want, Effortless, and The Woman's Journey. I'm a life coach, business mentor, and inspirational speaker. And my greatest value is making a difference in people's lives. So I hope through these podcasts, I can make a difference to your life. Today's show is sponsored by Robin Bates Dog Training, with over 20 years' experience making a difference to the lives of humans and your four-legged friend. Check out Robin's online training programs from the comfort of your own home. Visit robinbatesdogtraining.com. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for whoever can get to join us and listen in on this wonderful podcast. I am super excited. I'm really excited today to do this podcast. Now, I may not be the most knowledgeable as far as soccer is concerned, but for sure, the lady that I have on our podcast show today, there are words, I connect to people that have passion, that have drive, that have purpose, that have resilience. And I'm very excited to introduce to you all Simone Magill. Simone, you are most welcome today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Well, I'll do my little introduction on Simone because she could be bashful and backward and coming forward. But anyway, Simone is a Northern Ireland and Aston Villa player. She has 70 caps and scored 23 goals for Northern Ireland. She's the first female footballer from Northern Ireland to sign a professional contract. That was in 2017. Woohoo! And she actually holds the world record for the fastest women international goal. And it was scored in 11 seconds. And that was in 2016. And I'm really excited. Even imagine I think people, or even from our own county or neighbouring communities, you started your journey in the world of soccer in the big town of Cookstown. Oh, Simone, I'm just so excited to get talking to you. Take us a wee bit on your journey. This wonderful girl that was stuck in among the boys and made her way to where she's at today.
So precisely that. I had an older brother who always played football, and I guess that's how it started for me. So I remember when I was 4, I think, is when I first started. So he would go along every weekend, play mini soccer, and I just wanted to go along one day to see what the fuss was. And that was it, really. I just loved it from I was no age. And obviously, like you alluded to there was no girls' teams or anything like that back then. So I literally just mucked in with the boys, and I was like one of the only girls in the district to do it. And to start with, everyone was like, oh yeah, the wee girl, because I was literally the only one doing it. And that's how it started for me. And then I joined Cookstown Youth Boys to play proper 11-a-side football. When I was 10, 11 years of age, went up through their pathway and also joined Mid-Ulster Ladies girls, but it wasn't 11-a-side, it was still 7-a-side. So playing with the boys gave me that exposure to 11-a-side football, and suppose just from a physical element as well, it always kept me, a step ahead of everyone else in terms of the girls, because I had been exposed to playing with boys as well. And yeah, that's kind of just how the journey started. I just progressed through the systems. I got into the international setup at under 13 level when I was 11, and I just had my foot in the door from a very young age, climbed up through all the pathways, and then was really fortunate enough that when I was 17, 18 years of age, I moved across the water to England to play for Everton. And yeah, it's just kind of all been up from there.
Isn't it fantastic? Now, I've been down to Cookstown. One of my sons played soccer, and I've been down to many of the matches. But it's just so significant. I've heard you talk, and you talked about self-belief and resilience. But the thing that stood out to me, and I always try and work with people on this, is have your dream and keep your dream. Always have your dream, because not everybody's going to get your dream. So here we have a young girl heading through school, and probably in that time, girls are going on maybe teachers, nurses, whatever the going thing was. And we have this young girl saying, I'm going to be a professional footballer. Do you think that people believe you at that stage, Simone?
Yeah, I think back then it was actually quite funny, because I'd always said that's what I wanted to be. So you had the thing in class where your teacher would say, you know, what do you want to be? And you would go around everybody, and, you know, everyone would say, I want to be a policeman or a policewoman or whatever. I want to be a teacher. And then it would come to me and I would say, I want to be a footballer. And if the boys had said that, it would have been, yeah, good one. But the fact that I said it, everyone just kind of rolled their eyes, laughed or whatever. And it was just something that I had always wanted to do. I loved it. And I was like, well, why not? And I guess for me, the bit in it all was that it wasn't actually a reality at that time. The game was only professional in some capacity in America, but in England, it was only semi-professional. So I was kind of chasing a dream that essentially didn't even exist. I was just kind of holding out in the hope that one day when I'm older that it will be the case. And thankfully for me, that did happen. But yeah, I definitely experienced the roll of the eyes when I was younger in school. And it's funny now that when I do go back and, you know, I'm talking to, you know, old peers and teachers and stuff, that they love to be a part of it now.
Surely. I know, it just fills me with so much excitement hearing you, because it's what I work with people a lot about, and what I wrote the books about manifesting. Now, I know we're younger ones now, #manifestation, guess what I manifested, and we always see manifestations as good things, but I absolutely 100% believe that if you have a dream and a vision, I don't know how, I don't know where it's going to work out, but I'm holding on to this. And even if young boys had mentioned it at that time, it's like, oh, okay, we James wants to be a professional footballer. It's amazing. It's absolutely fascinating. And can I also mention too that Simone played a significant role in bringing the Northern Ireland's ladies football team to the European champions in 2022 this year. You've incurred a bit of an injury through that. The dream came, and now this happens, and in jumps the resilience. Can you talk us through a wee bit of it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, my dream was always to play for Northern Ireland and to get us to our first major tournament, and to play such a big role in that is something that I was so proud of, and still will always be the proudest accomplishment of my career to do it. And you wait your whole life to get to that stage. You know, we're on the world stage, millions of people are watching, and I put everything I had into it. And then first game in, I do my ACL and it wipes me out for nearly a year. So obviously that's something I'm going through at the moment. And I had just obviously signed a new contract with a new club that I hadn't even started yet. And I think they announced my signing 2 days before I did this injury. So I had a lot going through my head in that moment. But, you know, I feel like now where I'm at, I'm about 5 months into that journey now. And I think I'm mentally stronger than I've ever been because of it. And I had to really flip it on its head and look at it as, you know, I could have sat and looked at it and gone, why did this have to happen to me? You know, like I don't deserve this, and be really beat up about it. But I couldn't do that because it would just break you. So I've had to flip it on its head and look at it in somewhat of a positive way and be like, do you know what? I'm going to have a moment later in my career that I'm going to look back on this moment and be like, that's why that had to happen to me. And, you know, I'm going to go back out on the pitch soon, and, you know, I'm going to be stronger than I've ever been, fitter than I've ever been, because I've had this time now to really work on myself as an athlete, both on and off, you know, physically and mentally. So, you know, it's still something I'm going through now, but in terms of mentally and clarity and the direction that I want to go, it's clearer now than it's ever been. So, you know, I'm kind of tapping into that already of well, this is why this had to happen to me. So I am trying to look at it in a positive way. It is a horrible injury. It's probably one of the worst injuries you can do just because of the longevity of it. But I'm just trying to be as positive as I can. And, you know, so far the recovery's going really well. And I'm hoping that because my mentality is so positive towards it, that's helping carry it too. So fingers crossed it stays that way. And hopefully, you know, into the new year now we go, I'm in a really good place and I'll be back on the pitch in no time.
Oh, you're so inspirational just listening to you, Simone, because look, everybody, no matter what it is that we do in life, we all incur the days that things just don't go the way that we want them. And a lot of people strive and achieve for these dreams to get there. And sometimes they don't turn out as is expected. And I always love the quote, it's always in the journey and never the destination. What have you been learning? So say, well, you've discussed there the journey from injury to now. And you had then your journey from Cookstown to Aston Villa. And I'm sure you've come up your highs and lows along the way. So do you feel, what does the journey or the dream or the vision, and I know we're hoping to get yourself back into the football, do you see other talents and gifts and abilities that you also have with your inspiration, with your motivation? It's fascinating. Do you see yourself doing anything like that?
Yeah, do you know what? It's a question I suppose I ask myself now more than ever, because everything's been football and suddenly you take football away from me. Well, then who am I? You know, and it's always something that I did try to say, that I don't want everyone to be like Simone Magill, yeah, the footballer. It's who's Simone Magill, the person. And there's so much more to me than just playing football. And that was something that I always tried to have. And, you know, I went to university, I got an education, and, you know, I do quite a lot of speaking and events, and I'm quite active in the media as well. And those are all different aspects of things that I really do enjoy. And it's even just if me talking to people or sharing little bits of my story, if they can have any sort of impact on somebody else in a positive way, well then for me that's my job done. And there are things that I'm exploring now more than I've ever done, just because I simply have the time. I've never really had the time when I'm training every single day and have games, and then I get to off season and I just want to relax. So I've actually quite enjoyed stepping into different industries at the minute and doing different things, and gives me a feeler for life after football, because ultimately it is a short career, and I've tried to keep as many doors open as possible for me as to what my life will look like after football. Who knows? But there are certainly a lot of different things that I do enjoy doing, and you know, I'm just going to keep trying to, you know, meet as many people and do as many of these different things, and you know, hopefully when that time comes, I've got loads of different opportunities coming my way.
You know, you're the epitome of everything I talk about. You're walking the talk. When you said, who is Simone Magill? When I'm not a footballer, what we do as a human race, we become very attached to things, attached to likes on social media, attached to even being a mother, because then when the kids leave the house, who am I? Mm-hmm. We become attached to, I'm the teacher. When I become retired, who am I? Because I've only ever known that. When you say you're, now there's more to Simone. And look, you're full of, it's just oozing out of you positivity. What do you do for yourself of a day? Give me a run through of how your day starts off. Is there mindset involved? Is there any journaling? How do you keep this all going for yourself?
To be honest, I wouldn't say I actively tap into anything in the sense of, you know, writing things down or meditating or anything like that. It's something that I wish I did do. But unfortunately I don't. To be honest, I'd say I'm just quite chill, a really chilled out person. Obviously at the minute, my day to day is very intense because of my rehab that I have to do. It's actually the hardest thing I've ever had to go through. And I'm definitely feeling that now. I know when I did the injury, everybody said it would be one of the toughest things that you go through. But to be honest, until I was in it, I didn't really believe them, because I was like, well, I'm just going to be in the gym doing little exercises every day. How hard can it be? But my goodness, I am feeling it now. So because my days are quite intense, when I am away from the training ground, I do like to really try and relax. So I've got my husband, I've got a little dog. So we just try and, you know, do things together. If that's taking the dog out for walks, going for coffee, and they're the little bits of my day where I will really try to switch off. And yeah, just kind of like separate the two so that the injury doesn't become my life, which it could very easily dictate everything that I do. And I think early on it did, because, I lost the ability to walk, and I had to obviously relearn how to do all of that post-surgery. But now throughout my whole career, I've always tried to separate the two. I've got my professional life, which is football, and when I'm there and everything, like, I'm fully focused. But it's so important that when you're not there, that you have downtime, that you can switch off, you can reflect, you can do all of them different things. So that's very much how I try to go about my day. When I'm away from the training ground, I'm trying to tap into these other things at the moment that I've got the opportunity to do. Relax, spend time with friends, family. And then when I'm at the training ground, I'm fully focused on that, and everything outside, I just block out for that moment in time.
How do you mentioned about the rehabilitation and the pain that you're going through with that? How does the mind then operate? Those thoughts, because they can take us either way. What is it that you say to yourself to push you on through that? Because I know you're very driven in yourself.
Yeah, do you know what? It's really hard at the moment. I think, the hardest part of all of it is I've gone to a new team. So I'm trying to still get to know everybody. And the way you build your best relationships, your best bonds with people is out in pitch, which is the one place I'm not there at all at the minute. So it can be very isolated, very lonely, and you have to really have something deep within yourself to just pick yourself up out of bed in the morning, go in and know that, every single day you're going in, it's hard. Like, there's no shortcuts you can take. If you're going to take a shortcut, what's the point? Because, you'll figure it out later on that you've cut too many shortcuts and you're going to be right back where you started. So you have to do everything 100%. So it's never easy. And yeah, I just have to keep thinking of my end goal, which is getting back on the pitch, and how good and how special of a moment that's going to be, not even just for me, for my family, my friends, the fans, everybody who's been a part of this journey, and the support that I do get, that drives me. So it's not even just for myself that I'm doing it for, it's for everybody else who's been a huge part of my journey. Seeing me get back out there will be a huge moment, and I guess that has to be for me the biggest drive, because ultimately it's what I do, it's where I want to be. So if it means having to do X, Y, and Z to get there, well, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to give it everything that I can, so that when I do get there, hopefully I'm in a much better place.
Oh, it's a breath of fresh air, she is. There's many a one would lie down and say, not today, it's too hard. I won't make it. There's no point. You definitely have a fabulous mindset. You have been thrown an odd curveball there, so to speak. And you're probably, if you tell yourself you can't, you'll say to yourself, well, watch me. If that thought comes in, you can't, Simone, you say, well, hold on. Stand back there. Simone, it's been absolutely fabulous chatting with you and getting to know you and to hear your story and to feel your energy here as well. If there is something that you could leave listeners with, if they're sitting with a dream that perhaps they think, I'm too old to do this, whatever it is, but they've had that dream. A lot of people that I work with have carried a dream, but think it gets too late for them on in life, or it's not the likes of me that does these things. I mean, you have a rank outsider. If you're a racing horse, the only girl in that to go and play, the first professional from Northern Ireland to sign, there would be 100 to 1, even a bigger chance of getting there, 1,000, 1,000,000 to 1, and you did it. What advice would you give to anyone that has that dream, that even though they don't know how it's going to happen, how I'm going to get there? Over to you.
I guess for me, it's just take the plunge. You're never going to know unless you try. For me, in my journey, the one thing, yes, I had a lot of help from a lot of different people to help me get there, but ultimately it was me that was really self-driven, and I believed that I could do it. And if you don't have that belief in yourself, well, then who will? So I think that is the underlying most important part in all of it, is if you believe you can, then you will. And you've just got to give it everything. And if you never try, you never know. But I always say, I get loads of people ask me, especially young kids, you know, who want to be footballers now, who come up to me and they're like, you know, what advice would you give me? And it's work hard, work very, very hard, you know, make sure that you leave no stone unturned. You know, every single day I was out practicing, just hitting a ball off the wall. I didn't need fancy things. I just had a football and a wall, and I just was practicing every single day, practicing the things that I knew I wasn't good at to try and make them better. And I knew that if I give it absolutely everything that I had and I didn't make it, at least I know I give it everything. And I was just lucky enough that I did make it. But if it doesn't even have to be football, if it's anything that anybody ever wants to do, just work hard and give it everything you have, and then you'll know.
Fabulous. See? Oh, she should be out speaking and preaching to the world. Simone, thank you so much. Now, if anyone wants to get in contact with you, follow what it is you do, if you have a website or social media, you can give us a wee bit of information on?
Yeah, sure. So I'm on most platforms, social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of that. Same username, just at Simone Magill. And you can follow me and see what I get up to. I'm documenting as much of my recovery as well as possible at the minute, which is, you know, resonating with a lot of people, even just people outside of football who are going through similar things and setbacks, and just trying to shed a little bit of light into that. So that's something that I'm enjoying doing as well. So you can follow my progress on there, and if anyone ever wants to reach out, well, that's where you can find me.
Oh, brilliant. Honest to God, you've done my heart good. You're fabulous. And I wish you all the best in your recovery and wherever your journey takes you, because I know you'll sprinkle all that love and light wherever you go to, and you'll leave it in your trail whenever you depart from it. Simone, thank you so much for your time today.
No problem at all. Thank you.
If you would like to become a paid subscriber to Effortless Attraction, you'll find the link in the main profile. Every subscription makes a difference to my life, and you'll also receive exclusive podcasts. Thank you so much for your continued support. Today's show is sponsored by Robin Bates Dog Training, with over 20 years' experience making a difference to the lives of humans and your four-legged friend. Check out Robin's online training programs from the comfort of your own home. Visit robinbatesdogtraining.com.